Hello and welcome to Fluketronic. Today we're going to do another NAF tip, that's theory into practice, and we're going to be introducing the melodic minor scale. Now before we do that, let's take a recap of where we've been in the series. We started out with the pentatonic minor scale, which is your standard 5-note scale for Native American flute, and then we added 2 notes to that to get the complete natural minor scale. We took kind of a little detour to the Hirajoshi scale, which takes away 2 notes from the natural minor. And then we went back to the natural minor, changed 1 note from that to get to the Dorian minor. And if you haven't picked up the pattern, what we're doing is we're slowly adding in all the notes that you can get to on the Native American flute. So you can get to all the chromatic notes on most flutes. And so that's what we're doing, is introducing those one at a time. So to go from the Dorian, we have 2 ways we can go. And next time we'll take the other path. But for this time, we're going to stick with the minor mode and go to the melodic minor scale. And so let's briefly revisit the Dorian scale, and that sounds like this. All right, we're going to change 1 note. Instead of hitting that G at the next to last, we're going to hit the G sharp right before hitting the octave. So that sounds like this. So just 1 note. Now this scale is kind of odd. In that you've got a little bit of major feel and a little bit of minor feel. So it's kind of like the bottom half of the scale feels very minor and the top half feels very major. Can show you that like this. Sounds very minor, but if you start in the middle, you get that very kind of happy major feel. So it's kind of a mixed up scale. You won't find it all that often in pop music, except for James Bond tunes. So almost every James Bond tune you've heard. I'll give you a link to one I made a couple months ago. Almost every James Bond tune will make use of that that major 7th over a minor scale. So we're going to look at practice track in just a few moments, but before I do that, let's talk about how you make that note and why you might want to use it in your playing. So there's basically 2 ways you can make the note. One is you just keep lifting the fingers and you're going to hit just the 1 finger on, just like that. That's your G sharp note. There it is. So if you're going up the scale, it's very easy. You just keep on rolling and you'll hit it. Now there is a little bit of a catch there. If you're going from the G sharp to the A, you've got to switch fingers like that. So that can be a little tricky. So that's just one of the techniques that you have to get used to. But if you're already on the A, if you're on that octave A, another thing you can do is just drop this finger. And that will usually get you down to a G sharp as well. So of course that's really good for trills and things. Yeah, my nest is out of alignment there. Okay, so depending on where you're coming from or going to, that's two ways you can get to that G sharp note. Okay, so we're going to do a backing track, And for today, what I'm going to do is just one time through. I'm just going to use my basic band in a box mix here, and I'll do a little bit nicer mix for the full backing track. So let's go ahead and give that a listen. Okay, so hopefully you could hear what I was trying to do there was to really emphasize that G sharp note and how it can go over the various chords. If you familiar with chord theory, you can see that the second half of each phrase there looks pretty weird. If you look at the first half, A minor, D, B minor, E, that's not so weird. That's just a 1, 4, 2 minor, 5. So that's kind of normal. But the second half throws in that G sharp to all those chords, and you can kind of see how that what that does to the harmony, and just kind of gives you that weird exotic feel. So anyway, even if the chord chart looks like the thing on the left, you can feel free to throw in that note just on your flute and just give you that little surprise factor or whatever. So hope you enjoyed that. I'll give you a link to the full practice track, and you can see what you can do with that. I'd love to hear what you do with it. And then next time we'll be doing something a little more normal. We'll take the other path off the Dorian scale, and we'll see where that leads us. Thanks for watching. Bye.